and welcome, my little cherubs, to another Pick a Card reading by Goddessgoddard. So today's Pick a Card reading is what do people like about you and what do people find attractive about you? And then we're gonna do a typical goddess guidance card at the end that's just kind of like an overall vibe or something that you should focus on to maybe better yourself at the end. So today we're going to have 3 different options to choose from. We're going to have this teal colored heart to choose from. This is option number 1. We're going to have this blue heart as option number 2. And then we're going to have this lovely lime green heart as option number 3. So also with the 3 different colored hearts, we're going to have 3 different decks. So for the first one, the teal deck, this is going to be the Slutist deck. And this is the back. And then for the second one, we're gonna go with the Sirene tarot deck, and it's this little mini deck. And that's for the blue second one. And then for the third one, we're gonna go with the gold leaf Gustav Klimt deck for the lime green one. So I'm gonna give you a second. You can feel free to pause the video, and I might in the comments even put a picture of all 3 of them or a zoom in so you can take a moment just to watch in the movie for a second just to look at it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on with our first one, our teal. All right, so I'm gonna move these out of the way. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna shuffle, and I think I'm just gonna pick a couple cards, like 3 cards, and then we'll move on to the next round of questions. All right, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. This one wants to come out, and I'm just gonna pull 2 more, and that one. Okay. So our first card is the 3 of Wands. The second card is Suspension. And our third card is the 7 of Coins. So the first thing that I see with this particular combination is what people really like about you is that you're incredibly reliable. You're the type of like ride or die friend that people wish that they had. Or if they do have it, that's the one thing they love is like your loyalty and the fact that like no matter what happens in any situation that they're in, that you'll always be there for them. The 3 of Wands, I also see that people really like that you're kind of like a go-getter. Not only like when you go out and you have a tendency to achieve things or have like bigger ideas about things. And I think people really like that. And also like when you travel or you do things like that, you like to take people with you. So when you have like this expansive quality to yourself, it's never just like single-minded or just about you individually. The other thing that people really like about you is the 7 of Coins, like how much of a hard worker you are. You know, like if you feel like people or even work is like an investment that you're willing to take a chance on. So I'm gonna pull some other cards. Let's try to see more about what they feel like you look like? Or what do people find attractive qualities about you? Ooh, the 9 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the 10 of Cups. So with the 9 of Cups, I generally think of this as like our boss bitch card. Like, she definitely knows how to make her own money and she likes to manifest it. The 9 of Cups is typically like a wish card. And so people kind of see you as like a person that, like, if you want it, you get it. Like, if you're willing to put in the effort or the work into it. And I think that like your independence is very like sexually attractive to people, or people really like that quality in yourself. The 2 of Swords, oh wait, actually that's the 5, sorry. I think it looks like a 2 upside down, but anyways, so the 5 of Swords. I think another quality that they like about you is that you're willing to stand up for your friends. Like, if you get into a situation like with those people, you know when the right moment is to fight with other people, and if you hear something about somebody else, you're willing to like just throw in, like just be like, you need to watch your mouth, like that type of attitude. And then the 10 of Cups, you definitely have a lot of friendships. That's another thing that I definitely notice about you. Lots of different friendships. Sometimes that can be a little bit messy. Also with the 10 of Cups, I think a lot of people see that you go through like maybe cycles quite a bit. Like, you know, with the way that you look, maybe you come to like a certain point over and over and over again where you get like bored with like how you're feeling about the way that you look or something like that. So kind of always like in this process of like being the most amazing person that you can kind of be. 10 of Cups too, you might have a little bit of a flair for like expensive items in particular. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one oracle card for you, and I feel like this is it. So your oracle card is Bridget, and it says don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. So I think that there's a lot of situations where people doubt you, or people make you feel like, you know, why are you gonna get in the way of this person? Or, you know, maybe they question your ambition. And I think that it's great that you choose to not let that bother you. I think that you should continue to just be a strong, independent person, and don't let that get to you at all. All right, well, thank you so much, group number 1. I'm going to move on to the next one. So if you picked the blue card, or the blue heart, I mean, this reading is for you. Okay, so we're gonna switch over to this Sikoli deck. And this is a cute little mini deck that I picked up. And it has a lot of little figures in it. So, what qualities do people, that one already jumped out. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. So what qualities do people like about you in particular? So I'm gonna shuffle. I feel like these are kind of going already. And I'll just put those in there too. All right. Ooh. Okay, so I can already tell that this is kind of a fiery energy to begin with. We got kind of like a kind of passionate person in general. And so the first card that we got that fell out of the deck is the Knight of Cups. And this is so teeny, and I will share a picture of these cards later. The Knight of Cups. We also got the 5 of Wands. And then the third one that we got is the Empress card. And then the last one is the Moon. So the way that I'm kind of feeling about this, and it's wild, I guess in the last reading we also got a 5. So you are a very passionate person, and it's a little bit different than the one before. The one before is more about like wanting to really build your friendships and really wanting to grow and manifest things. And this one is more about like you chase after your passions. Like, what are you passionate about? Like, what is it, you know, love, romance, and desire kind of all go together for you. And you're a type of person that is really ruled, I think, particularly by their heart. Like, you're the type of like romantic person that people just like live for love, you know, like you always just kind of thinking about, you know, what's your next partner, or, you know, pursuing that next person. And I think for you, you know, relationships are like super important to you. Let's see. So like we talked about with the Knight of Cups, you are probably more of a pursuer in this one. You know, you already have like a crush on somebody, you make the choice to go forward and pursue them. The Five of Wands, I think, so this one's kind of interesting, and I'm going to pull an extra card on that one. The Four of Wands. I'm getting kind of a lot of Libra energy off of this one. So I think another thing that people might notice about you is that you want to definitely keep the peace with people at all times, and that you feel like it's very difficult because sometimes there's some people that are just difficult in general, and you're always trying to find like a middle ground to kind of make all of your friends really happy, or try to make it like, you know, there's a silver lining to everything. And I think you try to explain that to your friends, but sometimes they don't really get you, and that can be kind of make you feel a little uncomfortable. And I was saying that because the Four of Wands comes up with this idea of like home and happiness. So maybe even in your personal relationships, whether it's your roommate or with a lover, you might be able to kind of put things to the side or let it slip just so that things are kind of like going okay. And I think a lot of times too that you might actually push down some of your own sense of logic just to maintain these friendships. So you might be in a situation where, you know, maybe you're dating somebody and your friends are like, oh my God, homeboy is like atrocious, or, you know, or your girlfriend, or, you know, or your close friend or something. And I think that at times you have been in this situation where you're like, you know what, I really should cut them off, but I really like this comfort that they create for me. And I think that that is a particular problem for you. You know, maybe you need to step out of that vibration and actually, you know, make a choice that makes it so you don't feel like you're always like on the edge or the side of things all the time. The Empress card, I would say that people find you very beautiful and very dreamy at the same time, because the Moon and the Empress kind of came together. So the Empress is like our Venetian beauty of the deck. Like, she's definitely like the mother figure, you know, the ultimate femme, you know. So we got that card, and then we also got the Moon, and the Moon usually represents like kind of somebody that has like a dreamy quality, or, you know, sometimes in a negative aspect, a delusional character. But I think together these just kind of make you have more of like a lucid, dreamy quality to yourself. So in another way, I could also say that this might even describe a person that has more Piscean characteristics. Like, they live for love, but at the same time, you know, it comes and it goes, and sometimes it's hard to even recognize what you found attractive about people sometimes, because you just get so caught into the moment of feeling for these people. And, you know, you're probably an animal lover as well. I think people really love that aspect of you. You probably in some ways are a little bit mothering maybe to your friends as well. Like, you might be the cuddler, or the type of person that always just like wants to like hold them if they're having like a really hard time or something. Okay, so what's one more I think I pulled a lot of cards, so we'll just do like one more aspect that people really like about you. Oh, the Three of Coin, and also the Six of Cups. So I feel like with the Six of Cups, you're really good at like maintaining older friendships with people. and being able to kind of give into, you know, maybe childhood friendships that most people probably would let go. I think that also is kind of going with the 5 of wands that we were kind of pulling up. Like maybe even some of these childhood friends, they might be people that you might want to let go, but that's hard. Because another thing for you is with the 3 of coins, you're always kind of feeling like these people are a part of you or a part of your family because you've known them for so long. And kind of similarly to the first person is like you kind of like to build with your friends as well. But I think this is more out of like emotional satisfaction though. Okay, so we're gonna pull one goddess card for you, and this is something that you should focus on with maybe, you know, self-betterment or things like that. So I'm gonna give it a quick shuffle. All right. Oop. All right, let me go. It came out with 2, so actually I'll just give you both. So the first one is White Terra, sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So that's kind of what we were talking about, is maybe choosing to let go some of these people that might be kind of taking up a lot of your time emotionally because you like to be so giving. So we'll put Tara there first. And then the other one is Maeve, cycle and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So you might want to focus a little bit more on some self-care. You know, if you're giving so much to these other people, you might not be able to give to yourself. So I think it's about taking a moment to kind of relax and taking a moment to kind of let yourself heal. And for a second, Spirit was kind of telling me that some of these people from the second deck might actually be mothers. So a lot of y'all might not even get a lot of time to yourself. And this is really important for you to kind of like cast aside, you know, a little me time, whether it's like maybe taking a bath or, you know, taking a moment to just like go and get some coffee in the morning or something by yourself. Very important. So thank you so much, our blue people. I'm gonna move on to our lovely lime green people. If you chose this, I'm gonna move on with the Gustav Klimt deck. I'm gonna get shuffling on that one. All right. And like before, I'm just gonna pull 3 cards. So this is like what people find attractive about you. And I think it's so wild. I'm pulling these cards, and it's funny that I haven't really gotten too many face cards. They've been kind of all describing people's like characteristics and stuff like that. I feel like those 2 definitely want to come out. That's another one. That one. That's a lot. That one does. Okay. All right, so 3 things that kind of, some of the things that kind of describe you. Okay, so I see this as like kind of a very in charge person. I would think if I was to describe you in some way, I think that you're very logic ruled. And another thing is that I would think that you're a little bit of a smaller frame or build, kind of skinnier. I'm getting like in my head, it's like you're always trying to stay on top of staying hydrated as well. You might be the type of person that kind of doesn't pay attention to that. You drink a lot of coffee all the time. This is our like little, you're kind of a little bit of a workaholic is what I'm also getting. Okay, so the first thing is the strength card that came up, and then also the 10 of swords. 10 of swords, and then also the knave of swords also came up, and then our final card was the 9 of swords. So I think this is not necessarily what people find attractive about you, but what I would say that comes out is that people definitely see the anxiety. I think that you have issues with anxiety, and I think that's what comes up with like maybe drinking a lot of coffee, or you know, having dry skin as well as a problem of it. And similarly to another one is about kind of manifesting a little bit more like self-care, kind of working on, you know, what makes you happy, things like that. And I think that lately there's been a problem with maybe not feeling quite so beautiful, just because you haven't had a lot of time to give into your care routine or doing your makeup or things like that, because you've been so logical, you've been so in your head. All right, so this is what I'm gonna pull more to like describe you as a person, a little bit more physically. Let's see. Ooh, okay. And I also see this as like, so you also got the Emperor card. I think you're definitely a person that kind of runs the show. You are definitely more of like a dominant, kind of more of like a butch individual, and you like to be in charge of things. And I think in some way it might manifest in like, you know, yeah, you don't necessarily find beauty as something that is attractive. You're attracted to people that are generally more powerful, strong individuals, and that's what you come off as well. Another thing is that I see the 9s coming up twice, back to back, and I think that for you, you might be also, not only this like anxiety is like a big thing for you, but you also might be in this transition, or you might actually be like changing, you know, the way that you kind of see beauty. You might actually be taking a choice to kind of maybe even transition, but I'm kind of thinking that you're taking more of a role from being yeah, kind of moving on. I think when you were younger, you might have been more into fashion, more into beauty, but as you've gotten older, you're like, you know what, it's more about power. Like, you might be the type of person also to be like, I wear black more often than not now, or you wear more power suits. And, you know, I definitely think that when you walk into a room, people notice. People definitely like perk up and pay attention as to who this person is. Now, regarding love, and I know that I didn't really pull love for other people, but I feel like this is important for this person. Yeah, so for you, and then it's crazy too, so we got the three of cups, and I believe that came up in those other readings as well, and then also the moon. So you're kind of really caught up in your relationships with your friendships and networking currently. You are really trying to move yourself forward, and I don't really feel like at the moment that relationships are like the biggest place in your life, because I think that right now you're transitioning into being a much stronger individual, like a powerhouse type of person, and if you choose to date anybody, you just don't feel like they're at your level. And so I think maybe when you get towards the end of this cycle, yeah, when you get towards the end, you'll be more interested, I think, in like your sexuality, and you'll definitely feel more at home. Like, because I think right now is like you don't really feel this like passionate vibe to yourself, or this fire. But I think that once you get more comfortable with the power that you have, you'll be able to. And then also the Death card is coming up. So Death card also rules sexuality and transformation. So if you feel like you're going through that, I agree with you, and I think that you're going to be a much better person on the other side of this. Okay, so if there's one thing to focus on to better ourselves, I'm going to pull a really quick card. And actually, I feel like it was the one that was on top. Oh, well, we already got that. So it says cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, the energy levels, and the emotions. I think it's like, even though you feel like you're strong all the time, you might want to take that pause and just realize that You know, maybe you need a moment to relax and reflect on everything that's going on. Maybe take a moment to like, you know, another thing that's coming to me is like taking the chance to get some counseling as well. Like I feel like you're having some issues with even getting like your voice out because you're always having to be so strong for people. And then the other card is Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others and the demands on your time and energy. So that's the other card that I'm feeling as well. So I feel like maybe not necessarily a family as demanding, but I really am picking up this vibe that you might be like a manager or somebody that like really has to be like the key holder to whatever it is that you do. And sometimes it's really exhausting to always be like, things are fine, I'm good, you know, I'm in charge, I've got this, you know, I'm that boss bitch, that's me. So, you know, if it, you know, kind of similar to number 2, there needs to take that pause and feel a little bit more at peace with like some self-care or something. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this wonderful video. I go by Goddessgoddard. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You know, please like and subscribe. I love hearing back from you. If there's any video or anything that you'd like to see, or a costume or something like that that you'd like me to wear, I will totally do that. I'll try to get on to like answering any comments or anything. I also do performances and stuff. This is a My Little Pony synth that I built. So I make these cute little synths. And I'll totally make a video about that at a later time. But anyways, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.